Episode 1.
Episode 1.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello to everyone who listened to our introduction.
Yes. Welcome back.
Welcome back. And to new people, hello.
Hi, lovers.
Hello. It's funny because we have the microphone set up. P.S. All of this is very, very new to us. So we have the microphone set up, but then we also have a camera. And then there's also you. So I feel like I'm not quite sure where to put my energy. And Crystal's fine with this. I'm not fine with this. There are so many sounds in this motherfucking house right now. There are people doing construction downstairs. There's children outside. So you guys are just going to experience this moment with us. You're just going to be here with us with all of these sounds and all of this. So welcome.
Yes, welcome. Welcome to our shit show.
And you know what's funny? When we were creating this, we were like, because we really loved the name Fucking Moms for multiple reasons.
Yes.
It's kind of tongue in cheek, right?
Yes.
And then we were like, because I still don't actually know. When I post stuff on social media, I'm still like, oh my God, can we say that? But one of the things that we were talking about is like, how should we say it?
Yeah.
We were like, should we just say Fucking Moms or should we say Fuking Moms? I like both.
I like both. Too.
I like both.
Yeah, I like both. I think I like the Fucking Moms.
I like Fucking Moms too.
That's what he said.
God, amazing.
That's pretty good. I like
That's
that.
why we like the name.
Yeah.
That's why we like the name. So, I'm Kris.
I'm Crystal.
Don't you love the way our names are so simpatico together?
Kris and Crystal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. That sounds like a McDonald's song. Rip that clean off. Okay, so we have sort of thought, I wouldn't say hard, but we thought long and consciously about what we would like our first episode to be about. And we have decided that literally it's the premise of everything that we talk about and just the premise of our podcast.
Yeah.
But it is navigating your sexual being while also being a mother.
Yes.
And
a wife.
And a wife. Yeah.
And a single lady.
Yes.
And it's like, how do we...
Every time someone says single lady, the Beyonce song comes in my head
Oh,
immediately. When I worked at the wedding venue, you worked at wedding venues too.
Yes, I
They
did.
would put that song on whenever they would do the oh God, and anyone that's worked at a wedding venue knows it's like they play the same 40 songs, like fucking Grease Lightning, that Grease Lightning medley.
Yeah.
And that step to the left. Step to the
Kaden
right.
and Sean used to dance that when he was a little boy. They have it's huge in England, that song. Stand to the left, to the right. But there's an English accent.
No, that makes it better. I like that. So what was I saying?
The wedding songs.
The wedding songs. Yeah. So the single lady one would come on and it would just be like debauchery. The ladies would get real crazy.
Of course they
And
would.
when they throw the flower thing, it's true. The ladies get really crazy.
They're aggressive.
They're so aggressive about it.
We were talking about this with the strip clubs. It's like you get women, a group of women.
Yeah. It's like men strippers. Yes.
Yes, and if you go to a strip club, a female strip club, you're like, oh, everybody's
They're
pretty.
behaving themselves.
You know, the guys are in the back
There's
getting
rules.
a bit drunk and they're having a bit of a party, but nobody's acting like an asshole.
Yeah.
You go into a strip club for women.
Yeah, like a Chippendales kind of thing.
They're all
Magic
acting
Mike.
like assholes.
It's so true.
And I think, why?
Yeah.
Why do women...
Oh, and preface, Crystal's asshole doesn't mean bad.
No.
It's very British asshole. Very just goofy, crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I say acting like an asshole, I don't
You don't mean you're an asshole.
No, not at all.
No.
I just mean I've always wondered why that is. Why do women, and is it because we're so suppressed that when we do get a little bit of sexuality thrown literally ding ding up in our face?
I got some stories, Crystal. I got some stories.
Why do they act like they've never seen it before?
Totally untethered to who they kind of are in waking day.
Right. So it's like, is it because it's not normalized as a male strip club would be to a female strip club? Right?
Yeah.
Is that why? And we've been so suppressed that when we do go and have this sexual energy around us, we don't know how to act.
It's true.
Women are I love you ladies, but wild.
They get crazy.
Wild. And I've always wanted to know why.
Yeah. But it's funny because though, same as the wedding, right? So the same situation with the ladies going crazy with the single ladies, the single ladies, okay? The same thing with that, how they all go fucking buck wild crazy. And you were saying with the strip club, they don't start off that way. Yeah. You see them walk into the wedding and they're like, oh, hi there, hi, hi. Same as like when they first enter the strip club, right? They're like nervous, right? And then alcohol or no alcohol, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Soon it's like, things become undone. You know what I mean? The veneer has been crushed and you just see the craziest shit.
It's true.
It's true. It's true. Okay, so we are going to be talking, like we said, about navigating motherhood and sexuality because, and you know what? We're definitely not going to be able to all squish this into like one podcast. I think this is really like sort of the underline of like I said, the entire premise of the podcast is about that. And okay, I think like it's funny because I know people say it with you and people don't often get that right away from me. But if you just have like a 10-second conversation with me, I'm going to be spitting some shit. Yes. Right? So it's like, I think that I think that women hearing us converse the way that we do about it, right, will hopefully loosen off some of the restrictions and boundaries that
shame, conditioning,
and it's deep.
Ooh, that shit's in lineage. Like, that's
deep.
Lineage right
You'd
there.
Be like, you would say DNA.
Yeah,
you know, that's DNA.
Yeah, like that's like ingrained.
Yeah, it is. And that's why that's why we can't possibly be like, we're gonna squish everything into one. We're just going to be talking about it basically from our own experiences, while also just talking some bullshit, just like we are right now.
Yes.
But I'm going to start off with a funny story that actually me and Crystal were just talking as we were trying to look fabulous, and I was telling her, I don't know, I thought you knew that I lived in a tiny house.
No. Oh, I knew you lived in a small house.
No, at a fucking real tiny house.
She's like, so if you can't really see, but I live in a...
Or you're listening.
Yes, or if you're listening, let me visualize this for you.
Let's set the scene.
So I live on the top floor, and there's 3 levels in a basement of an apartment.
Yeah.
And I've got an open kitchen, open living room, and another open space. It's supposed to be a 3-bedroom, but it's a 2-bedroom because of the open space.
Okay.
I got a long hallway. My bedroom's huge. Caden's is pretty good size and a nice bathroom. She's explaining to me that her house was the size of just my kitchen and my front room.
It was less than 600 square feet. Like, it was really, really small.
That's small.
And it's funny because I would put that, sometimes I would like take pictures, put them online. People would be like, kind of trying to shame me for saying that I like lived in oh no, did we screw up the timer?
Not at
all. People would try to like kind of shame me for being like, well, where I live, that's a normal sized house. I'm like, bitch, do you live with 5 people and 600 cats? Remember I told you we had those wild cats in our house, which I was deathly allergic to. But anyways, so it just made the house feel really small. And so when we moved in there, my youngest, whose name is Godric because I'm fancy.
Oh, this is Godric says this is a romance podcast.
We gotta go into that story.
It's not even a sex podcast, it's a romance.
When he found out through remember, okay, for anyone who listened to our intro, you'd find out that we do a lot of like voice messaging to each other. And I was listening to voice messages have gotten into us a bit of trouble with our children.
Yes, they have.
So
I'll tell you later about my story.
It's better than mine. And Crystal's telling me, she's like, okay, when we do this podcast, and then she talks about this like, kind of like sexual things and stuff like that. And it's funny. If I would have stopped the voice message, my youngest is, God, you just have to know him to like understand. He's literally like a 60-year-old man from like 1942 stuck in a boy's body in 2022. And he's 12. So I'm listening to this and I didn't think he was like tuned in. I didn't think he was like listening to my story or anything like that. And then it's so funny. He like kind of comes around the corner, and I was like, oh no, because I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna say something, right? And I was not gonna hide this podcast from my children, but I'm like, I'm gonna have to explain it in my own way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
So he was like angry, right? But he's funny when he's angry. So he looks at me like dead, like cold. And then he was like, what did he exactly say again? It was perfect. He was like, why do you have to like romance so much?
Yeah.
And I was like, Godric, if you only knew, I don't like romance motherfucking at all. Oh my God. But I'm like,
it was the cutest.
It was so funny. But now he's supportive.
Yes,
he's supportive now. He gave us editing tips on our social media. He's
Yes.
like, Mom, you guys should. Oh my God, we didn't do our Would You Rather. We're gonna.
Oh yes.
Oh my God, guys.
Okay, we kind of fudged up here.
We did.
Because we decided we're gonna play a game with you.
Yeah.
The beginning of every podcast. So let's do that now. Let's do it now.
Okay, you want me to look up a Would You Rather?
Yeah. So that's what we're going to do is Would You Rather. We had a lot of fun doing this.
Oh my God, we did a
for
social
our
media clip.
social media clip, and it was definitely a lot of fun.
Would You Rather is such a classic. It's such a good get to know each other game or like driving game. It's so much fun. Okay, Would You Rather? Okay, sex. Would you rather? Let's just try that.
Sex. Would you rather?
Let's just see what comes up. And I've done some of these, and they're like,
they're a bit gross.
Some of them are really disturbing. We're not going to do really, really gross ones. And also, we thought we were going to be super different on our Would You Rather, and we ended up getting, I think there was 15 questions, and we ended up getting 13 of them the same. Yeah. And one of them was kind of the same. That was, would you rather not be able to see during sex ever again or not be able to touch?
Yes.
And our meaning behind it was the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, these are just, okay, let's see. These are like, that banging is really just, it's great. Okay, here we go. Flirty.
It's only the first episode.
Oh my God. Okay. So
tell me, ask me, or we're asking you guys as well.
You have to answer.
Please
think of these.
In our social media.
Yes.
We want you to answer the questions. We want you to have as much fun with us as we are.
This is a good one, but it's not sexy.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
We don't need it to be sexy.
It's, would you rather be your partner's first or last love?
Oh,
that's a good one.
okay.
Because I find, especially with boys, and I'm actually afraid of this. So my sons are 12 and 14, and her son's 14.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because, like, the world can be so mean to boys nowadays. But, like, especially young boys, they're babies. They're 14.
They're babies.
You know? But it's like, oh my God, when a boy gets their heart broken for the first time, they don't let that shit go.
Yeah.
Like, they go onto YouTube and watch every motivational video to get themselves out of that shit. Like, they really take that shit hard. But where I'm going with that is you are forever motherfucking ingrained in their brain. That's how I got my husband back. The first loves in high school. Then we broke up.
Yeah.
And then for 3 years, he was just waiting for me to come back and do it. That's how I like to picture that.
He's just waiting
He's
there
just
for
sitting
her.
on the back burner like, hey,
please,
remember
Kris,
me?
take me back. Please. I am nothing without
That's
you.
how I like, but also too, like if it's somebody that you really love, obviously, like you want to be their last love.
Well, this question's trash because I don't have a partner.
But you have to use your imagination.
Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go. Oh, but I just thought of something I hate. Because I don't like this. It's funny. I'm not a jealous person, but I'm so competitive that it almost like acts like jealousy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Ew. I would hate it if the person loved somebody before me so much. I've been in a relationship where I've been that person's person for fucking ever.
Right.
He dated one girl like for like 2 years or something like that while we were not together. And she's so sweet and she's beautiful and she's nice. But still, like, I won at the end. And I was there before, right? But like, Ew, I never thought about that. If they were all like, no, and they thought about them ever, oh fuck, I would hate
They
that.
would think about them because it's their first love. Like,
I hope they bury it deep inside. Love me only.
So what are you picking? First or last?
Okay, well, I'm gonna pick last because I want to like die with somebody that I love. But I hope they never think about
their first love.
Okay, what about you? Oh. Radio silence. What do you think?
I'm feeling like I need to pick last.
Yeah.
Because it's like...
Yeah, I think that's the best one.
If we could decide, like... Well, I'm not a jealous person. So you know what? Go right the fuck ahead and think about your first love. And we can even talk about how cute she was and her little pink tails. And
you're a better woman than me.
You know, and I'll let you have that. And I'll be like, okay, that's enough now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, last love.
Yeah, last love.
We should, you know what we should do? We should like tally these up over time and see how many we get the same. Because I think we're actually going to have more the same than we think. I think it's when we start talking about like actual interactive sex stuff that we're very different.
Yes.
Because I feel like all of that stuff around is pretty similar. It's pretty similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like actual that's a little different, you know? Yeah, okay. So the sound effect, you like that?
I did.
Free of charge, everybody. I'll be doing these sound effects for you.
Snap, snap.
Okay, so you have to tell the hilarious story recently because we're talking about trying to maneuver and navigate.
That's the word.
Navigate your sexual life. So again, I'm partnered up. I have a whole, living in, like I was saying about that tiny house. Oh, sweet, sassy fucking Molassy. That was terrible, right? Because it's like...
So how did you keep your sex life alive when being in a house that's
you have to be so quiet.
Oh.
And it sucks. And then also, too, you're we're pretty open in our house, like, especially compared to, like, I hear other people talk, and they're like, oh, shit, I would never say that,
yeah,
right?
I'm very open with Caden, more than he wants me to be. Poor guy.
It's funny, because in mine, I feel like my children are sometimes a little bit too open with me, and then I have to put on that, like, stoic face where you're like, yes, okay. But inside, I'm dying and I'm melting. But, that's how we did that. And we were there for 4 years, and it was rough because it's like we literally were in a tiny house. Like they're popular now; they're all over Instagram, and Netflix has programs about it and shit like that.
Yeah,
it's small, dude. It's small. Everything is compact. Yeah, and that's not my favorite way to do intimacy.
No,
is quietness and like gentleness. So it sucked. It sucked, honestly. That part sucked. It was like the main catalyst for us being like, because we did it to flip houses because we were flipping houses. Yeah. And we were like, oh, this is cool. It's a tiny house on the lake. This will sell as a cottage or whatever. Yeah. And we were there for 4 years because that's how long it took to flip. Financially, it makes sense to be there for that long. Yeah. And it was like, but of course, that's when my mom passed away. And then we lived with my dad for 6 months. We had like 5 really rough years in that department. Okay. So navigating sexuality in a tiny house, I don't recommend it. Okay, tell your story. Because it's a juicy good one. It's fucking hilarious. Because you have to know your son, who's here right now, by the way.
Yes, he is.
He is here. He's probably wanting to shoot himself.
Poor Caden. I'm sorry, Caden. I love you.
Yes, he's a very stoic, introverted boy.
Yeah.
Lots of friends and social, like in that way, but when it comes to like one-on-one conversation and stuff, he's
you got to work him.
Yeah.
You got to work him. You need to earn him. You need to earn his laughters. If you get a laugh out of him, like your son says.
Yes.
Like I love the way Dexter interacts.
That's my 14-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love you, Dexter. He's my little man. he it's like a game for him with Caden.
It is.
Like, he's like, Crystal, the more I get Caden to laugh and smile, that means I'm winning. And I was like, this is amazing.
Like,
I'm like, you are your mom.
Tree.
Yeah. I'm like, this is perfect. And we just had a sleepover, and Caden was laughing the whole time Dexter was here. So I'm just thinking of Dexter going, ding ding, winner, ding ding ding, winner, I'm the winner, ding ding ding, Ganyo, winner, winner. Like, I was like, yes, Dexter.
God. Okay, you gotta tell the story.
Okay, so I'm seeing somebody. Would we call it dating?
It's so weird because I've been like,
I don't know what to call this.
Maybe people listening can tell us if there's like a fucking name for this or something.
Yes. I met this gentleman online.
Yeah.
I met him on a dating app, Luxy. Yeah, it's okay app. And so we've started chatting and doing...
Hit it off right away.
Yeah, hit it off right away. Totally, I wouldn't say not my type, but...
Not your usual.
Not my usual. Yeah. And as I keep on saying, I'm patterns.
Right.
Doing stuff differently.
Yeah.
You know, like the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing, expecting different results. So I'm like, hey, let's try something different. Different. And I was very cool and collective. Didn't send pics, didn't send anything.
It's true, you did.
I've done everything different than I usually have. Like, I even showed her our feed of conversation. She's like, oh, I'm feeling like this is very one-sided, Crystal. And I was like, okay, I better step up my game a little bit more.
That's because he would send a bunch of like, and we're not talking sexy pictures, just pictures like, hey, it's me in my office, how's it going? Right? And you would just send back text.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
which is not your usual thing.
No, because I would send a picture back usually. So I just was like, no, we're doing everything different. And so we are exchanging some cute, sexy, excuse my throat chakra, some cute, sexy texts back
voice
and
messages.
Forth. Voice messages, yes. Voice messages back
fucking
and forth.
Voice messages again coming in.
I know.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I didn't have my ear pods in when I was listening to the message.
Epic fail. Yes.
So I sent him a message beforehand about my yoni. And I'm listening to the voice message he sends back to me. Mm-hmm. My son comes walking in from his room, and all he hears is this guy saying, I can't wait for you to sit on my face. Caden's like, ew, turn that off.
No, you have to tell them.
And then I was like, don't shame me. I'm a sexual being, Caden. I'm like, I have needs as well. Because at first I was like,
right.
I had to leave.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no.
Yes.
No,
yes.
and fucking no.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking woman.
Yeah.
I have sexual needs. I want to feel desired. I want to feel sexy, and I don't want to feel shamed from my kid because I don't want to shame him.
Exactly.
So no.
Yeah.
But now I will put the ear pods in because I'm sure it's not the nicest thing.
And also too, it might progress from that's pretty PG-13. That's not. It's still like very South Park. Like they've heard shit like that all the time, right?
They have. Yes.
But it could progress.
Yes.
Right. It could progress.
Yeah.
But that is exactly what we're talking about when you're trying to like be a sexual person, right? And however that looks, like we were saying, if the would you rathers are always surprisingly similar for us, but I do feel like in our sexual selves are actually pretty different.
Yes, they are.
But so however you show up right now as like a sexual being, whatever that is, right?
Yeah.
It's fucking hard to be a mother.
Yeah.
And I'm sure guys feel the fucking same way. But it's like, it's really hard to like show up as a mother and also still be really deeply connected to like your sensual and sexual self, especially when they're young.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. When they're young, your brain is just like, blah, 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 blah. Like you have so much to fucking think about and so much. I was like a mother that was always like, oh my God, is something going to happen to my children? Like I was one of those ladies that like, you know, your baby be sleeping at a weird time.
Yeah.
I would go fucking wake them up because I was so afraid they were going to die.
Oh, you were a weirdo.
It's a weirdo. They didn't have those mats that you put under the crib to tell if like your baby's breathing or not. When I had like little kids, oh fuck, I would just wrap them in that 24/7 if I had that. It's just like, okay, this is because I don't feel like a maternal person. Like I grew up around little kids. Like I have tons of siblings. My mom did daycare. It's Canada and it is getting dark in here. So people listening are easy for you, but those watching it might start getting dark in here because it gets fucking dark at like 3 o'clock right now.
Yeah. Welcome to Canada, baby.
Yes, absolutely. Great place to live. But yes, it gets dark as fuck. But yeah, so I don't feel like a super maternal person, obviously with your own kids, but you know, I don't like kids. Oh my god, on the last one I was like, I don't like dogs and I don't like cinnamon.
Now I don't like kids.
I like some kids.
It's a bit fine. You were fine with Andre, my sisters, when I brought them to the football field.
I can only do that mode for so long, which is exactly kind of what I mean. I like being in that mother energy for me 24/7 really drains me of my life force. Okay. And I wish back on the day I knew what I knew now. Everyone fucking says that, right? But I wish that I knew if I were to have like, you can do it all different and you're still going to have your great life that you are now. Yeah. Nothing's going to change, whatever. Yeah. This is crazy genie shit. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. I would be like, I need to take time for myself to do some embodiment practices or do some meditations or just fucking listen to sexy music.
Dance.
Yes.
Move your hips.
100%.
Just dance and be in that movement. Sexy. It's like, we're going to take a bath and like put the music on and really...
Yes. Really connect with your sensual self, right?
But who teaches you that though?
Oh, exactly.
Right? Who fucking teaches you that?
Yes.
You have to like script and scrammer and try to find people and to resonate with you. And are they bullshit? Is like, it's...
And I think too that like...
Schools definitely don't teach you. Oh, and our parents don't teach us because nobody taught them.
No, exactly. And I think that a big thing is when people are looking into that stuff, like you said, because we live in the age of information, you feel like, okay, I should be able to find fucking anything. But as somebody who did go down the path to be like, okay, I done lost myself, I gotta fucking find myself, right? And by that I mean my sensual self, living in my feminine, not being super masculine all the time, which is like a place I really like to, I feel very comfortable in, not just because of society, but because of my birth chart. It's very masculine. But like, I find a lot of the stuff that I was looking at was very like spiritually complex, very like Eastern practices and stuff like that, which you are very in tune to, but those didn't really connect with me. Yeah. For me, it was a lot of like philosophy, learning about like, basically just human behavior. You know what I mean? Like the science of everything. And then I was like, okay, I see what has happened here. You know what I mean? I've been in my mother brain for so long that I've really like... Crystal's dog is just being dramatic.
He wants to be let out. He wants to come and hang out with us. And Clea has locked him in the bedroom.
But yeah, so it's like, I can understand why you wouldn't know where the fuck to even start looking for that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you want to feel like you can kind of resonate and connect with something right away. And if you're just like, I don't know what the fuck yoni means or anything, and you feel like there's this
or
big
tantra, or it is, it is because it's a lot of studying all of that.
You feel like you have to become like a spiritual person, but it's like, and you know what I mean?
And then
what
does a spiritual person look like, like with their sexuality? Because I was telling you this the other day as well. I think a couple weeks ago, where I'm like, you know, in spirituality, in some traditions. Keeping your life force energy. So life force energy is your for men would be your ejaculation. Our life force energy is, oh, here he comes. Can you hear him? Here he comes. There he comes. No karma.
Oh my God, this dog.
So with our life force energy, it's like they've told us like, hold it, like don't release it. Yeah. Okay, yes. There's a huge value to it. Athletes do it. Yes. But then at the same time, you can actually take that medicine and when it does expel out of our being,
yeah,
you can use it for magic.
And this is what Crystal does, by the way.
Yes.
Plug for Crystal.
Yes.
This is literally what she does.
Oh, I love this topic.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. So it's like this is where I've had a bit of a hard time with myself and being spiritual, but then I'm like, well, what about my sexuality? And I'm like, I'm being told like, no, you have to dim it down.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, I don't resonate with that. And it's like, so how am I supposed to look and act as spiritual?
Yeah.
Who says the rules? Who's the boss?
Yeah.
Guess what? I fucking am.
I'm the fucking boss
exactly.
Too. Bosses. We're motherfucking bosses of ourselves.
Boss bitches.
But it also
you know what I mean?
Of course,
it's
yeah.
Like, and so I'm trying to even navigate my sexuality through that.
Yeah. It's true.
How do I act online? How do I truly show up as this crazy sexual being that I am? Or do I have to be like, let's connect to the earth realms. Take a breath in, everybody, and wear a certain outfit. Like,
so fucking complicated.
Why can't I just
so
be me?
Complicated. And it's almost like the more information that you take in, it's almost like, unless you have like years of kind of like filtering it and putting it into places, it's fucking overwhelming. Because also too, there's the big elephant in the room, the spooky thing, the thing that dominates a lot of conversations online and in person, which is like women in culture, right? And that is not something I fucking want to go into, because I think that you could just turn this podcast off right now, go to YouTube and hear that all day, all the fucking time.
It's not something we're bringing to this.
No,
we're
not bringing that energy. No, that energy is an abundance right now, and I don't need my voice put in there either.
Yeah, the collective consciousness on that is just...
It's crazy, and it's all...
super crazy.
It's super crazy, and it's got merit, right? Like, it's like, okay, I get where that's coming from.
Of course.
But, like...
But we're devaluing and demoralizing the masculine and not allowing them to fully step in their truth and feel safe to step in the truth. As the feminine, we open. So I was sitting with my buddy Bern. Okay. And I was in the car with him. I was picking something up for my dad. And he's in love. And you can just...
He's in love with somebody?
Yeah, he's in love with her, his girlfriend. And you can just see him. He's just like... He's always, but he's even more... And he's like, I think I want babies with this woman. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, Bern. I'm like, amazing. And then I said... We were talking about safety. And he said, Crystal, when you make a woman feel safe, she opens her womb to you.
Damn, that's some deep shit. I wonder why he's your friend.
I'm like, Bern. I was like, that was beautiful. And I'm like, we do open our womb to you when we feel safe. He's like, it's an exchange of safety. It's like, as soon as you hold that feminine and you allow her to feel safe, she is going to fully nourish you. Like, she will give you her whole being. And you then, as the masculine, you'll feel safe because she's giving you this huge container.
Because it's like, everybody always wants to think that right now, currently in society, it's the worst we've ever been.
No.
In everything. Financially, like societally, culturally. We always fucking think that, which is kind of beautiful, because we always, as human beings, we're like, we always want things to be great, but it is what it is, right? But like, we really are in a fucking predicament, like, as far as what he just said, right? Like, creating a space for women to feel safe. I just had this conversation with somebody at that party that we went to recently. And I said, because they were doing a lot of complaining, the stuff that we said we're not going to talk about that we're currently talking about. They were doing a lot of complaining about men. And okay, it is what it is, right? But I was having this conversation with this one beautiful girl, and she basically said that, because I was talking how I'm like a housewife, okay? And like my life basically is literally to serve my husband, who doesn't even know what to do with that, by the way. He's always like, okay, sorry. Like, he's showing, he's learning to be super taken care of, but it's hard. Anyways, so she was basically talking about how she really wants her partner to show up like that. Like what Bern said. That's his name, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's not his name, but that's his nickname. Yes.
I like it. So she's like, basically just saying that she just really wants to be seen, right? So being the shit starter that I am, I was like, okay, what would you do with that? What would you do with that? You know? And she didn't fucking know.
Of course she didn't know.
Right?
Babe.
So it's like we're in this place where, for her, okay? Because she is a mom and she goes to work every day. And I'm sure she has to fucking she's a single mom. So she's got to do all of it like you are, right? Yep. There's a lot of being in your masculine. Yeah. Because you've got to.
You have to.
You have to.
play both roles.
You have to.
You're taking care of the bills, you're taking care of the money, you're taking care of the food, you're taking care of the cleaning.
Driving
there. You're taking care of everything. So you have no choice.
Yeah.
I have no choice.
Right.
It's not
so
what I want,
but you have to have those
I
practices,
no
right,
choice.
to get yourself out of that space.
100%.
Right? Because you have to be really fucking conscious about that.
Yeah.
Which is what I was saying, that I wish I would have known that when my kids were younger, and just fucking take some time. And it's not that I was super in my masculine, but I was in that like hyper vigilant,
go.
Right? Which is kind of masculine, a little chaotic feminine, but pretty masculine. And I wish that I had known what I know now, to do, like I said, embodiment and stuff like that, to ground yourself again. But that, it was funny because, again, I wasn't trying to be like a bitch. I was just trying to be like, ask us, like, get her to think about it. Instead, putting the blame, like, oh, he doesn't show up as a man. He doesn't show blah, 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 blah. Are you showing up as a female? Are you showing up as your sensual, sexual self? Yeah. Because that man fucking married you for a reason. And I'm looking at you, you're hot as fuck.